Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong says that legal systems may need to evolve as artificial intelligence becomes more advanced, as that raises complex questions about responsibility and accountability. Speaking at an event marking 2 centuries of Singapore's legal system, he said policymakers must balance managing risks with supporting innovation. Aslam Shah with this report.
As Singapore marks 200 years of its legal system, attention is turning to how the rule of law must evolve in a rapidly changing world. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong says one of the biggest shifts will come from artificial intelligence, as machines take on a larger role in decision-making across society. But he says even as the country harnesses technology, its people must be clear that the rule of law ultimately rests on human judgment.
Our legal frameworks were not designed for a world where machines can make consequential decisions, so we will have to rethink some of our most fundamental assumptions about responsibility, liability, and accountability. And again, this will not be easy. Move too slowly and the law falls behind, while people potentially get hurt. Move too quickly and we risk stifling innovation.
PM Wong also spoke about challenges facing the global rules-based order and how the international rule of law is coming under growing strain. He says this is something that Singapore must continue to fight to protect.
And to all young Singaporeans, it is your turn to carry this forward. Your task is not to preserve the system unchanged, but to adapt it, to strengthen it, and to keep it relevant for the challenges ahead. Because the rule of law is never finished. Every generation must renew and protect it in its own way. And if we continue to do this well, Singapore will not just be a place where the rule of law is upheld, but we will be a society defined by fairness, justice, and trust. And that is the Singapore we must continue to build together.
He adds that this means keeping the rule of law relevant to new challenges facing the industry, which includes ensuring justice remains accessible to those it is meant to protect. At the forum, young Singaporeans are reflecting on how laws must adapt to emerging challenges, including technology and social change.
The legal industry is embracing different kinds of AI to really help improve the efficiency of courts, to help expand justice to more segments of society. And this is something that we feel that a gap can potentially be closed with the help of AI.
AI will be able to take over more of the mundane, lower-level works, such as summarizing meeting notes and compiling documents. And the juniors, when they first enter the industry, they will be able to focus more on the legal strategies, the theories that are in the mindset of the senior lawyers and their mentors. And I think for that's definitely a huge benefit for our generation.
The forum is organized by the Law Ministry and the Institute of Policy Studies.
Speaking at the close of the same event, Law Minister Edwin Tong highlights the importance of giving legal access to everyone, especially the vulnerable groups. He cites the example of the government-funded Public Defender's Office for Low-Income People set up in December 2022, and a task force launched this January to better support people with disabilities and mental health conditions in the criminal justice system.
For all that we have built up in Singapore as a first-class legal system, first-rate judiciary, I think, as PM puts it, it doesn't mean very much if the last person in Singapore, the most vulnerable in Singapore, don't feel that they have access to it. And I think this is another very, very strong driver of the rule of law in Singapore, and for us it is one of the foundational pillars.